I met a gypsy.
They don't see that. They only see the end result, and they want that end result. They want that, but they're not willing to put the work and effort into it. And so my life, I do all this now, and I'm a single dad, full-time single dad. So I'm balancing being a parent at the same time as you're seeing everything that I post on Instagram, and I'm like, how long is this thing going for? Because I have to pick up my kids
What
from
time do you
school.
got to get out of here?
No, I don't have to be. Since my son drives now and he can drive himself to and from school, which is yay! I'm stoked as a parent.
Yeah.
Scared that he has his own license and now he's on his own, but as a parent caring for his own child. But now I only have my daughter to pick up. I don't have to pick up till 3:30.
Yeah, cool.
But so the time limit that you gave me is perfect.
Yeah.
But I'm balancing my life. This podcast being a parent as well.
Yeah.
So I am a normal dude.
Yeah.
I'm a father 3 times. I've been married twice. I'm not proud of having those marriages fail, but there were learning experiences to me. And so, like I said, everything's not always going to work out. And even though something fails, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Relationships, jobs, careers, you name it. It's not the end of the world. And so what skateboarding has taught me is you have to fail to succeed. Everything is a learning experience. And if you can learn from everything that you failed from, you can get to that next level of something productive.
Yeah.
And I'm still working that right now as far as relationships go, because, I've had 2 girlfriends since I've been divorced, and, they didn't last long because they failed. But it takes 2 to tangle, and it's not always one person's fault, but if people aren't willing to grow and be held accountable, then things don't move forward. And that's the big thing with me right now is like accountability.
Yeah.
And so being a spiritual person, God holds me accountable all the time. So when I go to church and I feel convicted about something, that's a good feeling. That's a good feeling. I love to be convicted by God because I know that I'm not on the right path. And as a parent who loves his children, and as God is my father, he just wants the best for me. And that's it.
Yeah.
And that's what I want for my kids. And I try to teach them that. But as teenagers, do you have kids?
Nah, not yet.
That's a whole nother level, bro.
Oh man.
A whole nother stress, a whole nother responsibility. So try managing doing what you're doing and having a kid and bringing up your child the best way that you can.
Stresses me out. I'm not gonna lie. I think we're probably like getting semi close to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the best thing in the world, and it's one part of life that if someone has never experienced it, they haven't not experienced life to its fullest. And I feel like having a family, having kids, I've experienced life to its fullest.
Well, I think when you said accountability before, like I think that's a pretty big word in my vocabulary, or like in terms of the way that I try and focus my life. And I know that I get the best out of myself when I have like almost load myself up with accountability. And I think that's why the podcast has kind of helped me, because you say things on there, you come across as a certain person. It's like, okay, dude, like you need to be that person, And I think that you get rewarded in life for the accountability that you take. Like you look at a guy like Steve Jobs. He was the face of Apple. He was the guy. Everyone knew it was him. The success of the company was on him. The failure of the company was on him. And I just think that there's such a powerful form of leverage in accountability. But I think that it's the same in your day-to-day life. Like if you can, I think a lot of times in my life where things weren't going amazing for me, it's because I was kind of like shying away from accountability and not letting people hold me accountable. So I honestly think it's a key concept. And if people have never really thought about what accountability means to them and their life, like they're kind of actually missing something that's fairly important.
Very important. And if you have those people in your life, it's only going to help you.
Because naturally you want to push back, right? Someone's trying to hold you accountable. Someone's trying to And like in layman's terms, someone's trying to call you out on your bullshit.
Right.
And it's very hard to be the kind of person that can stand there when your wife's telling you like, you did this and you did that and it's fucking lame. And to actually be like, swallow your pride.
Yeah.
You know, look at your ego, be like, okay, I get it. The ego wants to lash out and the ego
Always.
wants to defend himself and, you know, get that defensive, you know, the hair on the back going up. But it's just like, no, I'm being held accountable. This is actually a good thing. And go forward, you know, from there.
It's a good thing for everybody, you know, and I think accountability and humility go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And when you're humble, you're able to hear what people have to say about you and then step back and be like, is what they're saying true?
Yeah.
And then let me ask somebody else, you know, and then if it kind of matches up, then yeah, okay, you are. But, you know, it all comes down to trust. It always comes down to trust. Whoever you trust in your life, you will listen to. Doesn't matter who it is. So for me, I trust God. So I listen to everything that he says, what's best for me in my life. And so it can go in relationships. If your wife does not trust you, she's not going to listen to you.
Yeah.
If you don't trust your wife, you're not going to listen to her.
Yeah.
And vice versa, you know? So my kids, you know, sometimes I have to tell them, like, you know, it's very hurtful that I tell you something and you don't trust what I have to say is true.
Yeah.
It's a very hurtful thing. And what it says in scripture, it says love always trusts. That means if you want to know what love is, you want to be a loving person, then trust everybody. That's how you show love. If someone betrays you, it happens. But at least you love them to that point. It's like, you know, it's like, I'm not going to trust you till you prove yourself of your trust. That doesn't work like that. You trust everybody. But then you're wise enough to know who and who not to trust by analyzing that person and their life and how they live. Obviously, you're not going to trust someone who lives like dangerously, you know, and has a bad, it's like, okay, you know, I'm not going to trust that person because look how that person's living and look where they're at. Yeah. You know, am I going to take advice from that person? You know? So you know, like I said, you are going to trust anyone that, you're going to listen to anyone that you trust. And so a very loving thing to do for your partner, for someone that's in your family, is to trust them. That's how you show true love. Yeah. You know, it's an unconditional love.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.